I had a hobby too. Mine happened to be guns and ballistics, and I studied guns and ballistics as much as I could, and I wrote an article about high velocity.
So out of all my years working at Weatherby, the last 5 have been some of the most exciting. Working with Adam, with him running the company.
And to think that I get the opportunity of carrying on my grandfather's legacy 75 years later here in Sheridan, Wyoming, I mean, it really is a dream come true.
Oh, I'm home. Thank God I'm home.
On our mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
All right, welcome to On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast, episode number 7, the Women's Antelope Hunt 2019. A little bit of a partnership between Leupold and Weatherby.
Yes.
So in the house, we've
Great
got
partnership.
Brenda Weatherby, we've got Riza Lesser, and we've got Antelope Hunters 4 through, we've got 4 additional Antelope Hunters, but
Yes.
Antelope Hunters 1 through 6 total.
Yes.
You guys were some antelope slayers this week, and we want to hear about it.
All right.
So, right now, Antelope Hunter 1 is Sereena Thompson.
Yes.
And what's your Instagram handle?
At Sereena R. Thompson. Just my name.
Just your name?
Just my name.
All right. And you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up hunting. I've always hunted with my dad, and always been, a huge passion of mine. And then to be able to come on a hunt with Leupold, with Riza, Weatherby, it's been awesome.
Great.
She hunts with her husband
Yeah.
a lot and her kids.
Yeah. No, he hunts with me.
Oh, you're
Okay,
right. You're
let's
right.
get it straight.
You're right.
That's
This is
important.
women-centric today.
Yeah, let's get it straight. Let's back that train up a little bit.
And he steals your gear.
And he steals my
I know.
gear.
Yes.
And
All
I
of our husbands steal our
Yes.
gear and
Yeah.
then never return it. So
Right.
we've talked about this.
I hide mine
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Definitely hide it.
And Riza, you're a Leupold employee.
Yes, I am.
And-
A long-time Leupold employee, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, when we have people there 40 years, maybe not that long, but long to me. I've been there 11 years.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
And this is I don't know how many hunts this has been together, Brenda. What is
At
this?
least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we try and find excuses to get together and do some product development collaboration and things like that.
Great
So,
friendship.
yes.
Yeah. Leupold and Weatherby goes together very well. So
Yes.
that's fun.
I agree.
And then how about tell us where we first met you, Sereena?
Yeah,
Or
so
at least me.
Yeah, actually, I think both of you I met at Ladies Hunting Camp in Oregon, like 3-4 years ago.
I met you
Maybe
4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah. If you guys don't know about Ladies Hunting Camp, it's Candy and Randy Yao put that on, and it's just amazing. They've expanded to 3 different camps, 2 in Oregon and 1 in Utah. Amazing weekend to just learn and grow and encourage each other. When I went there, Sereena was the rifle instructor. So you're an NRA rifle instructor.
Yep, I'm an NRA rifle instructor, and I teach at all of the ladies hunting camps and show off our beautiful Weatherby Camillas, and
It's great. And then tell us about your new successful hunter's course.
So
online.
I launched an online course about a month ago, and so what it is it's specifically kind of driven towards women. Kind of gives them a roadmap to, everything from what they need to prepare to hunt all the way through the hunt. And I just launched it this year, right before our Oregon archery season started. And I have about 10 ladies in there right now. And 3 of them have actually been on hunts. So they took the course a week before they went. And they've all harvested their first big game animals.
Okay.
And
Oh, that's awesome.
Tremendous
so,
success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
I did the first 2 modules, and they're great. It's very instructional and really practical. And
So I just
really
kind of,
great.
try to kind of lay it all out there for them, because so many of us now, us women, we want to really kind of do it on our own, and learn. And we don't necessarily, no offense, Luke,
Hey,
but we don't
it's okay.
necessarily, learn the best from men. So it's kind of nice to have that woman's perspective.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah, and be able to lay it out. And I'm, super thankful to have the backing of Leupold and Weatherby on that. So yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Tell us about your hunt.
So first of all, this is a long-standing hunt that Weatherby's done at
20 years.
20 years at T55 Ranch with Casey Tillard.
Yeah.
So
Shout out.
I'll do a quick shout out
Yeah.
to Casey. But this is a great ranch down in Glen Rock, Wyoming. and
Plentiful
I was gonna say.
antelope.
there are plenty of antelope down there. I was fortunate enough to hunt that ranch last year, and you ladies had a great time this year, so we want to hear all about it. So you're antelope shooter one, Sereena. How this play out? Tell us, give us a little breakdown, play by play, what happened. You used a Camilla, what caliber? Give us the whole rundown.
Yeah, so I have actually never harvested an antelope before. So that's how I became antelope shooter number one.
You always give the newbie the first
That's
first
right.
dibs.
Yeah, I've hunted a lot, and like in Oregon, we don't have antelope like Wyoming or Casey has antelope, and so like I've just been stalking my point. So it was really awesome to be able to come here and see so many antelope. But first night we actually got to hunt a day before.
Yeah,
We
didn't think you could hunt that day, or we would have gotten there earlier. I think
little
but
bonus
yeah.
day that
Well,
day.
he told us
Yeah.
the first, and then we realized that actual season started like the 24th, but he was doing his sheep or something. But he got done early with sheep, so he said, "Well, let's hunt tonight." And we're like, "What?"
We couldn't
So
get
it was
here
awesome.
fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm not necessarily a trophy hunter, but I told Casey, I was like, I don't want no dinker buck. Like, I want, something. And he was like, oh, got the perfect one. Taylor and I, we saw it earlier this morning. I was like, okay, let's go for it. So we kind of drove to the area that he had seen it, and we didn't necessarily see him right off the bat, but we did see a clump, as antelope.
A clump.
A clump.
That's the
Shooter
technical.
two says.
Yeah.
As Antelope Shooter 2 would say, a clump of antelope. There were what do you think, Brenda, 400 or 500 yards down there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we did that. We put a stock on them.
Picture perfect stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Was this a 7-person stock, Casey plus all of you?
Actually, it was just Christine
there
and
was
just
four of us.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Serena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We split up.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
For the most part. I mean,
we-
we all came
so-
together at the end.
Last year we didn't. When we were, Dana Weatherby was up first, Brenda's daughter.
You didn't split up
And
at all?
No, we sent like literally 10 people.
How do you put a stock with 10 people?
Exactly. Yeah.
We
It's a
did.
clump
They
of
did it.
people.
Anyway, I'm not hijacking
Well,
the story.
Casey's
Go.
nephew was there, so he took half of us, and
Perfect.
then Casey took half of
Perfect.
us. So
Yeah,
it was perfect.
okay.
Which was nice. Yeah, so it was nice. So, in Wyoming you have like the tall grass and all of the sage and everything, but we got a really good stock off kind of like a rock kind of bluff type thing.
Yeah.
So we snuck out there. There was nothing on there, and they were down below us 168 yards. And so we got there. I was shooting the Weatherby Camilla 240 ultralight.
Mhm.
Super sweet rifle, like.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
it feels like a 22.
Oh,
and
you
I-
can't. It doesn't kick. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
I'm
So
like,
that's,
yeah,
that's
it's
the
got that
that's
muzzle
the Mark
brake.
V Camilla
Yes, the
ultralight.
Mark
That's
V.
the
Yeah.
green stock. That's
Oh yeah, super
awesome.
pretty. Has
Right.
a muzzle brake on it. The trigger tech,
Sweet.
custom bolt. I mean, if we're gonna
Yep.
get.
And when we looked over the edge, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen an antelope that big in my life, unless it was like mounted on a wall. So I was like,
Oh.
So did you
Lucky?
think about pushing her down for just a split second?
yeah.
kind of. But I actually would have had to steal her tag too. So I thought, well, that's a little much.
Yeah, that might be a challenge.
I've actually had that happen to me. I had never hunted turkeys. Just to go off subject, like. It was like 2 years ago. I went with a guy that knew how to do turkeys. And he's like, okay, we're going to take you guys out. You guys are going to get the first turkeys. Literally pushed me out of the way to shoot this huge tom because it was the biggest turkey he had ever seen.
No kidding.
No
That's
kidding.
not a great
Out
guide.
the way.
No.
No,
No.
like
We've,
it's-
we've
He got-
never went
he
to
got-
We've
it.
never gone back.
He got no tip.
No. No. But yeah, so we snuck out to the end. We had to wait a little bit. There was a baby in front of him, and then there was some does, kind of moving around. So we had to wait until he kind of was, had the nice, clean, ethical shot. And once he was there and, Casey was like, okay, yeah, we're good. I put it right behind his shoulder, touched it off, and he literally ran 20 yards and dropped.
Yep, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It was.
It was a perfect number one. We kind of thought, well, none of the rest of ours can go that perfectly, but we kind of proved that wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll hear the other stories, but this was the most efficient hunt I've ever been on. And you take 6 women to hunt, that's usually not very efficient.
Efficiency usually doesn't go
No,
along with
we-
that. No.
It was unbelievable.
No.
I was like, we could have been like a car factory. Like we were like, like harvest, clean, hair and pictures.
Yes.
Do it all over again.
Yes.
Important to throw the hair in there.
Well,
It's all about the hair.
And we didn't miss a single chance to go celebrate together. So
Yes.
you'd get a message
Yep.
when it had been harvested. The whole group
Oh,
would rally.
that's great.
All
Everyone
show up.
ditched
Okay.
like what they were doing, and we all came back together.
So yeah, we have 6 photos with everybody in them and their harvest, their
Yeah.
antelope.
Yes.
It's,
Oh, that's
it's
great.
cool.
Super special.
So, how long did it take for the second group to get?
Oh, it didn't take
10
that
minutes?
Oh,
long.
not long.
No, it
15
didn't take that
Not
long
long.
at all
Maybe.
for them
Awesome.
to
There's not
get
a lot
there.
of traffic
Awesome.
in Wyoming, so you can
No.
actually move fairly quickly.
That's a good point.
To get from
That's a
one
good
place to
point.
another,
That's a
unlike
good point.
Portland. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we normally do like Weatherby top 10 or top 5, but it's going to be tough to pull that off with 6 antelope shooters. So how about we do like highs and lows? So what was your high point of the week and low point of the week?
Oh, a low? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I
there's
got
gotta
it.
be something.
I got it.
Yeah.
My low is leaving today.
Oh.
Oh,
Like, I don't want to leave. I just move here. And then the high was definitely, shooting the antelope because I've never shot one, but just being with so many awesome, positive women where it's not like there's no drama. Everybody is so stinking excited when I'm going to get teary when somebody else is successful. And that is just, in the world today, I feel like even like in the social media world, like people are so jealous, and that was not the case with this group. And it
No
was just
competition.
awesome. Exactly.
Just all for
Yeah.
each other.
Exactly.
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool. Well, let's bring on Antelope Shooter 2. We've got Antelope Shooter 2, Taren Weigandt. What's your Instagram?
It's Future of Hunting _Taren.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell us about the future of hunting.
Oh, so I run like an online blog brand about getting kids involved in the outdoors and kind of raising up our future hunters. It's called Future of Hunting. And I sell like little kid youth hunting t-shirts and like a parent shirt that says Raising Hunters. And then I donate a percentage of that to a nonprofit called Raise 'em Outdoors.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And where are you from?
I am from Scappoose, Oregon. It's a small little town outside of Portland.
That's a great town name. Scappoose.
Scappoose.
Or
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We also
Shout out.
to everybody
in
in
Scappoose.
Scappoose,
Scappoose.
Oregon.
Shout out.
So, Antelope Shooter 2. How did Antelope number 2 go down?
It was awesome. So Sereena obviously was Antelope Shooter 1, and that happened the first night we got into town. And so the next morning, we were all geared up. It was super cold out. It was kind of foggy, rainy. We were expecting to come to Wyoming and have like this beautiful day. At least in my mind, that's what I was envisioning. This big, clear, crisp. That wasn't the case at all. So I had an opportunity to kind of like figure out what kind of antelope I wanted to shoot, when we came into town, because there were so many to look at. I had seen hundreds of antelope. So
Just on the drive down.
just
right?
on the drive down.
And we realized we could be picky because
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
were so many.
There's
there
a
were
lot.
so
Right.
many.
Nice antelope. So we're like, no, let's keep looking. That's what we
Let's
did
keep
for a
looking.
little while.
So we kind of got to be a little picky, a little choosy, and I had my heart set on a heart-shaped antelope. I love the shape of the heart ones. And so the first morning we were just cruising along, kind of glassing and scouting, and I saw one, and I'm like, that has a heart shape. And I just knew that was the one. So we all
So
got
you're
out.
looking for their horns that have like
Yeah.
this full curl in.
Yeah,
So,
the full
yeah,
curl. I
cool.
wanted that heart. And we had spotted one, and we tried to make a stalk on it. And then another antelope came running across and totally spooked him out. And
What
then,
a jerk.
What a jerk. And then, goodness, what happened after
Stock
that?
2, I think, is when it came together for you, right?
Stock 2
On
was
the
actually
same antelope, or is this a different one?
Well, stock 2 also we got busted.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had peeked over this little bluff that he was up on top of the second time, our second attempt. And my guide comes back down. He goes, I got to shot him with a bow. He was so close because he popped his head up over and he saw him right away. And so we didn't get an opportunity at him the second time. So then we leave locations. We move again. And we're like, darn it, those antelope crossed over the road, and there was a clump. There was a clump of
There's
them.
a clump of antelope. That's kind of cool.
We have a lot of inside jokes from this trip. Anyways, so there was a herd or a clump of antelope, as I like to call them, and that heart-shaped buck had moved over with some other ones, and Taylor and I made a stalk on him. We left Riza and Christine at the rig, and Taylor and I went and did this pretty long stalk on him and kept getting closer, kept peering up over the edges, and then we go back down and we sneak a little further and pop up, and we just until we finally got into the position, and we crept our eyes up over.
Okay, wait, should we tell him about the wind?
I know, I was going to say that, and I was like, and then you check the wind, and then you move again.
So Taylor was Casey's.
We got to back this up. There's something going on here.
Yeah, shout out to Taylor here.
Taylor was so great. He was so great.
But Christina and I busted him.
Must have been one of his first.
It was his very first
time
guided
guiding
hunt.
us.
First time with females.
And he had us. I mean, that's like a big job.
Yeah,
6
pretty
of
funny.
us.
So
So
we
get
hear
little powder bottle
yeah,
out. And
but
it's
the
like,
thing is our hair was like blowing sideways.
There was
so we're like, I wonder which way the wind is going.
It was just part of his routine.
It is a hard right to left, confirmed. Christine and I are like
Everyone's
at
looking
the
at you like,
truck, and this huge cloud of smoke blasts across, and I just go, did he
wind
check?
check
He's like checking the boxes on what
he
you
was
do.
checking his boxes.
Got it.
Yes.
Great.
No, it was good.
He was so worried he
so
was going to
great.
mess it up.
He was really nervous because we had already put 2 attempts on this antelope, and so he was just really nervous. He was getting kind of antsy, and we're like, this is like the first morning. We already have a giant down. There's hundreds of antelope. I mean, so we're not really nervous, but he's getting pretty nervous.
No, he said he was about to quit.
Yeah, he's like, I was gonna just say,
really?
Casey,
Yeah, he
like
was
I can't.
panicked. Yeah, sorry,
Wow.
Taylor. It's the truth.
Yeah. Anyways, he finally got an antelope for us. So that last time we popped our head up right out, like over the flat, and you could just like peer through the grass, and I was like, there he is. And there was a couple, probably like 50 yards off to my left, like probably 5 nice bucks standing there, and I was like, those aren't the ones. And I just kept peering, and I could see this broadside antelope with his just heart, this perfect heart silhouette, and that was it. So I just like lifted my gun right up over the edge and put it right behind the shoulder, and the first shot didn't knock him down, and he just stood there, and we're like,
Just took it.
he just took it.
Yeah.
He did the humped up, and then stood there, and none of the antelope blew out, like nothing happened. And I was
Nobody
like,
cared.
what's going on? And you could see the
It was
shot.
a good shot.
You could see
Yeah.
the shot, like the red blood, like right
Oh, he
behind.
just-
And he
he's-
just was standing there, and we're like, what is going on? So Taylor's like, don't shoot again, because all the does were kind of walking by. He's like,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
shoot. I'm like, I'm not going to shoot again until you tell me to. And it took forever. It took a couple minutes. The does all kind of like wandered off, and finally I got another opportunity to put another bullet in him, and I did, and he still just stood there. And Taylor and I are like,
He was
what
stunned.
is going on? Because I was like putting him right there.
That hurt a bit, but I'm okay.
So finally, he like stepped backwards. He goes, just put another one in. And I put it in, and he just fell over. But I'm like,
No
what?
kidding.
That was the most stubborn antelope
Yep.
Wow.
ever.
And you were shooting a Camilla.
Yeah.
Which model?
Oh gosh, I was shooting the 240 as well.
Yep.
240.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had the elements against us, but it was such a close shot. It was like 100 yards that the scope was great, but at first it was hard to even like see through it because there was so much wind and fog and rain and just
Like a strong right to left wind.
a really strong right to left wind.
It was really foggy.
But I had
It
to
was
like
very
wipe
misty.
it every time.
But you didn't even have to use your CDS style, right?
No.
It was, 100 yards?
Yeah, I didn't even have to
set.
range it. It was just, he was right there. Then he
Yeah.
dropped over, and I was like, ah! I was so excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And so then you had to call the whole group, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Do the picture.
Yeah, so
Buck down.
like,
We kept
Taylor.
saying, buck down.
buck down on the text messages. And I didn't have my phone because I left it in the rig, and we
Yeah.
were trying to get you and
I
Christine to
did.
come over to
I was
us.
frantically calling and texting everybody.
Yeah, but because Riza and Christine actually got to watch it
Yeah.
all go
So
down.
are you just watching it through
Yeah.
binos the whole time?
Yeah, we
Oh,
crept
that's
up to
fun.
the first point where we had seen them pop over, and we're like, well, it's probably safe to creep up to there, and
Yeah.
we did that, and then when we saw it go down, you could see them like waving and jumping, and I'm like,
I know, we're like, come over,
Yeah.
come over. And they didn't. We had to go get you guys because there was some more antelope.
Yeah.
We didn't realize there was other things going
yes,
on.
they came closer to us, so we're like, should we stay? Should we just wait for this one to be picked up and clean this one out first? So
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Then the group showed up, and we all, of course,
Did the
run up
photo,
there.
Did the photo, the group
Group photo.
photo. Jess took amazing photos the whole time.
Yes.
And she got in there and got our photos done, and it was just really special. It's a very
Antelope
special
Shooter 3.
moment. It was
Yep.
very special.
Awesome. So high point and low point of the week, and you can't do the same answers
Okay, low
as
point,
Sereena. That's
probably
cheating.
walking into the lobby this morning and snorting in front of like 10 people.
Oh, she's talking about the Weatherby lobby downstairs.
I walk in the lobby this morning and there's like all these people
on a tour, I think.
On a tour, and someone says something funny and I just snort so loud. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh, I hope I don't do that on the podcast. So high point is probably just like all the laughter and the inside jokes and everything that has come out of this trip. I mean, we had muzzles and mascara at one point. We have billy clumps.
But you have to explain what a billy clump is or why you say it.
Oh, okay. So, and I'm getting teased all over for this. People are sending me like DMs on Instagram. You know they're called bucks, right? Because I'm like,
it's a billy goat.
It's a goat. So my dad specifically, before I came on this trip, he was so excited that I got to come on this trip. He's like, now make sure you keep calling them billies, Taren, because we grew up and they were billies. Like, that's just what we called them. Anytime we were antelope hunting, he's like, they're billies. And so I'm like, okay. So I've like intentionally called them billies the whole time because my dad was like, you got to call them billies. And so everybody's like, they're bucks. I'm like, okay. So then at one point,
it's like, sure.
Y'all aren't as friendly as my dad.
So Brenda, were me and you in the back of the truck when this happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like taking like a video. I'm like, so we're like, there's this group of antelope. There's like a clump of them. I'm like, what do you call a herd of antelope? Are they a herd or are they? Because
I said I like clump better.
I like clump.
Clump.
I don't know. So
Clumps
I
and billies are both
so now we have billy clumps. We got a billy clump, and we have at one point Christine and I were doing some product photos and they left us alone for a couple minutes and we got a little squirrely, and so Christine and I just start taking like this random video and she's like, and next up on the first episode of Muzzles and Mascara, I was like, what?
She's over here dying in the corner.
I don't know. We just laughed so hard on this trip, and like I didn't have like a close relationship really with any of you. I had met you at Ladies Hunting Camp.
Yeah.
I had met you at Ladies Hunting Camp, but we've continued on since then. And then
yes, we've been working on a relationship.
We've been working on a relationship. It's developed quite nice. And then Christine I met here for the first time. Jess I met here for the first time, but we've like all just it's been so cohesive and fun, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, I can definitely pick up on when we get to Antelope 6, but there was some strong camaraderie in the group, let's say. It's been fun to see.
It's been really special. I'm really thankful that I got to be a part of this, so thank you guys. It's been like just incredible.
And Taren wears her heart on a sleeve, right? So the whole heart antelope was just perfect for her.
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't have been with anyone else.
Brenda said Taren got her cute buck.
Her cutie buck.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
It was awesome.
Cool. Yep. All right, so we've got Antelope Shooter 3, Jess DeLorenzo. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is very simple. It's at Jess DeLo7.
Jess DeLo7. So you're the photog in the group.
I am the photog, which it was a really unique situation because usually as a photographer you go on a hunting trip and you're just documenting the whole time, and this was really special because I got to partake and hunt and do my thing on the side as well. So it was a really, really fun, unique kind of hunting trip for me.
She's really talented. We had some really great photos, artistic, and some just, a lot of candids that were awesome.
Some of them, it looked like you were somehow editing them in the field.
I kind of was. So
we couldn't wait. We wanted to see them
They were so excited, and I had a couple of photos of the scenery was beautiful. Everybody together they were so happy and so genuinely, like everybody's facial expressions were just so fantastic. So it's like I really wanted to get those out as quick as I could, just for the girls. So everybody got a photo of themselves. We have the group photos of everybody, and we have some candids. And then there's like unlimited. I have so much editing to do when I get home. There are so many photos. So many photos.
Of course.
Yeah.
So let's hear about how Antelope number 3 went down.
Okay, so Taren and I were number 2 and number 3 on the first morning, and like she said, the conditions were not ideal. It was very cold. Everything was blowing sideways and misty, and so Taren went out on her group and I went out in my group, and while Taren was putting on her successful stalk, I was stalking a clump. It was a huge clump. I think there was like, I don't know,
too many in the
40 antelope or something. So we had spotted one and put on the stalk, kind of walked through a drainage, which seemed like we were just doing S-turns for like 20 miles, and popped up, and it's still pretty far, probably, I don't know, maybe like somewhere around 200 yards away, and kind of watched and got closer and closer, and got close enough to kind of crawl up out of the drainage ditch and got set up, had my crosshairs on them, but there was just so many walking in front, walking behind. There was no clear shot. It was like a migration, it felt like, of antelope.
Oh, you're like, get out of my way, I'm
Yeah.
shooting on antelope.
Yeah. And I was this was actually my first big game with a rifle because I'm a bow hunter. So I have felt so much pressure to make sure I got a good shot because I don't have a lot of experience rifle hunting, like none at all. I've never harvested an animal with a rifle.
You wouldn't have known that.
So I was.
Which rifle did you get, by the way?
I was shooting the 243 Vanguard Camilla, which was amazing. I was kind of apprehensive at the range shooting it the first time, like, oh, I don't know how it's going to feel. And it was fantastic. I mean, there was no kick. It was smooth. It was coming as a bow hunter. I was so impressed. I was like, wow, this is
just
fantastic.
a hair louder, that's all.
Yeah, it was a little loud.
Didn't have to get as close.
No. And like the whole process of like shooting and everything was so fast. I was like, whoa, it's done. So yeah, I didn't get a successful shot on that guy. Tried a couple more times, and we got back to the truck, and it was like buck down. So took off after Taren and got together with that, and then got back in the truck, and literally like not even a mile down the road, we spotted a good one, and we're like, I don't know, should we try? I'm like, yes. So we got down, kind
That's
of
what we're here for.
Yeah. Got out there, got up out of the drainage again, and literally he was maybe 80 yards and walking towards us. So I want to say there was a couple behind him again, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again. Never going to give me a shot. Walked past a sage bush and stood there broadside, and he was just about to turn away. I had confirmation from Casey, the guy, that I had a clear shot behind him, and took his step broadside. I was just about to turn and instinctively just kind of pulled the trigger because I knew I was on him, and I was like, oh my God, it's done.
That was it.
He went right down. He kind of just hunched and went down. And
out goes the text
yeah,
message.
buck down.
It's a mile down the road. So from after, you said that was right after Taren shot. So like how much time are we talking?
Oh my gosh, 20 minutes?
We couldn't even get started to look for another one before there was another message.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I was glad that the first stalk I had to put some effort in, and it was unsuccessful, and we tried really hard, but I was really glad that the second stalk was efficient and fantastic. It was a great buck, and it was good
And that
time.
antelope dropped, and she just went, yes!
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh,
she was just super-
Followed by a dance.
Yeah.
I could tell she just was very like, okay, I did it. I did a good shot.
Yeah.
This antelope's down, you know.
Yeah,
especially as
Sereena
her
was
first-
filming on her phone for me, so afterwards, I didn't realize how many times I actually did like the yes, and like made a fist into myself. And yes, I did it like
It's
5
all
times.
documented, yeah.
Yeah.
She was excited.
Yeah, I was really, really excited. I mean, my priority was just to get a clean shot and use the scope properly, which I didn't even have to use a dial because he was at 70 yards. So
We packed all these dials, didn't have to use them.
yeah. I was just really concerned on doing everything right, and it played out. So I was so relieved and happy. And then all the girls came in, and we were excited again. And it was just, I'm so impressed with everybody's talent and their experience and how well we all work together. Like Brenda said, it was the most efficient hunting, but it was just surreal the way everything played out.
Yeah.
I'm
Classic
so
group of
thankful.
girls. Classic group.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you've got Antelope going to Pennsylvania.
Yes. So my family loves antelope. And when I text my husband, I was like, yeah, I got one. He's like, hurry up and get home. I'm starving.
That's great.
Yeah.
So highs and lows.
Let's see. The low was also this morning when we bit into our Starbucks breakfast sandwiches and they were cold. That was the worst.
They do come frozen.
Shell.
Thanks, bud.
And high was just being able to experience everybody's hunt and being able to photograph it successfully for everybody. And just experiencing it all together.
I've seen a handful of the images from social media, and so when Brenda, Antelope Shooter 6, shot, and we're walking towards where you guys are, and there's like this photo has already been edited, and how is this even possible?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an amazing shot.
It was
Well,
color corrected.
It was
Yes.
color corrected.
It was
It's-
color corrected. Brenda was fantastic in her photo. That's one of my favorite photos from the whole trip is Brenda's
Smile.
smile.
That
Yeah.
was just probably pure elation because I didn't
just
really
shows
think I was
through.
going to harvest a goat this weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Don't go too far. We're gonna get to the
We'll save that for later.
Ooh, just got cut off.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So
Yes.
let's bring on Christine, shooter number 4. All right, so we've got Antelope shooter 4, Christine Schlenker, with us, who is Weatherby's senior graphic design artist and makes everything that we do look
Pretty.
awesome.
Yep.
So,
thank you.
including our On the Mark podcast logo and many others. So, how did it go down with Antelope number 4?
Oh boy. Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to make sure that everything on this hunt was like as relaxing as it could be for Brenda and getting all the other girls bucks, and that was my main priority. And
I'm
I
so
just kind of
relaxed.
was.
She drove me around.
I live here, and I was just super excited to be invited on the hunt. So I was like, I'll just do whatever I can, whatever you need me to do. And I wasn't super picky. I was like, if the girls want to pass up a buck, I'll take him,
She kept looking. She's like, we just I'll shoot that one. She would have shot like 100.
Right? Just keep getting me tags. So we kind of split off. I think it was me and Sereena and Jess and then Casey. And we kind of split off. And Casey's dad, he can't stay away, I guess, and he was
Marty,
calling-
right?
Oh,
Yeah, Marty.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And he was calling up from like part of the area up. I don't know where he was.
They've got some
but-
more land down
Yeah.
further south.
And he's like, hey, I see some stuff up here. And Casey's like, okay, well, he usually knows what a good buck looks like, so let's head up there. I'm like, sure, that sounds awesome, So we took his truck up there, and like, sure enough, there was a few along like where we were kind of first driving into like his area. He spotted one, and just like right away I was like, oh, I'll take that one. That one looks good. And then he was like, well, just wait, like let's just keep seeing, like
Let's
and
see.
then
Let's just see if there's anything else. You don't have to settle, Christine.
Right. And so we kept going, and like kind of just peeking it over like a little hillside. There were 2 horns from a buck that even looked better, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like let's do this, let's get him. And so anyway, I kind of like hopped out, and then we like trekked it over to where like I got a better view of him, and I kind of got up over where I could see him down, like see his whole body. And like I was talking to Casey, I'm like, I mean, we're not even really stalking. Like,
Are you just walking
we're just
right
kinda
at
like
him?
walking over here. Like, should we be ducking? Like, And he's like, well, he doesn't really seem bothered.
Should
by
we
anything.
check the wind? I don't know.
Should we look like we're professional at this and
Right.
like check wind anyway? So he said, I don't think it really matters. Let's just try it this way. There's like plenty of other options here if it doesn't work out. So that's kind of what we did, and he was just kind of eating. And I was almost like, wow, this is crazy. But I knew, like, he noticed me. I had to set up fast. And when they're kind of looking at you like that, they usually bolt pretty quickly after. If they notice you, they're kind of trying to figure out.
They give you that
out.
still
Yeah,
stare, like
yeah.
a little bit
Right.
nervous.
It was
Yep.
like a Western standoff. Like,
Yeah.
I was just sitting there, and he was, like, staring at me. It was like, so I was like, okay, I got to take this fast. So I just kind of set up, like, shot with the bipod sitting there, and he was about 150 yards, and I had the 240 Mark V 240 Camilla, ultra lightweight, and man, that thing didn't even have to think about it. It was perfect, and like where I put it, which wasn't perfect, it hit him. So it was a spine shot, and he just went down.
He just went straight down.
Yeah. But like I was so unbelievably stoked, like. And then the girls came out, and they were like, oh my God, Chrissy, this is so awesome. And just to have everyone there was amazing. Like, and I think Sereena, she got my shot on camera, which is strange to see yourself like shooting if you've never been filmed shooting. It's just weird. You're like, ew, what's going on there? But yeah, he was awesome. Like I like the experience, the buck, like the gun, the optics, everything was just like, I couldn't ask for a better setup there. So.
And this was your first women's hunt, right?
Yes.
'Cause you usually you hunt with your husband
primarily.
Yeah.
So when I first moved out here and married, and like he kind of got me into hunting, and then I worked for Eastman's Hunting Journals, and so I started a little bit more into hunting there, and then I was like, it gets in your blood, you know. So, but my husband, we hunt together quite a bit, but he has definitely taught me how to pack mostly. Like he's a survival man, so I had like tourniquets
in our office.
like
we call him Grizzly Dave.
Yeah, my husband is known as
Yeah.
Grizzly Dave. Yeah. Shout out Grizzly Dave. And he would be rolling his eyes at that right now, because we came from Cody over the mountains, so they've got some grizzly bears over there. And he grew up really hunting in that kind of terrain, and it's cool, but it's definitely something different you have to prepare for.
You said you were like nervous or something.
Yeah.
You didn't know any of us.
So I typically like just being with a group of women. I mean, like that's, you know, women can be a little judgy or catty or something. So I'm like, I don't know, you know, and you're going to be with these women for however many days, like, and
sharing
so I was
rooms.
yeah. And immediately I was like, okay, I'm just going to meet them at the hotel, and then we're going to go to Brenda's. And I got there, and like, I was like, these girls are cool. I hope they stay cool. Like, I was really nervous. I felt like a dork. And
sometimes you start cool and you don't end cool.
You don't end cool, like first impressions. And but I was like, oh, these. And then just as we got to know each other on the trip, it was just everything that they were saying, like all our inside jokes, like we were just being dorks. It was like perfect. And we're like mothers, and we work and we hunt, and there's a lot of like-minded like situations and things I could relate to with the other girls, and that's what made it just like an incredible experience for me. And not to mention just like, I know like Brenda's always like, oh, whatever, but getting to hunt with Brenda Weatherby, like, what is this?
I love her face right now.
I know, right?
She's
That's
like,
what she
ew.
does. But I mean, I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to listen to this. I mean, I grew up in the Southeast, and I mean, there's hunting, but we mostly fished and stuff, and just of Weatherby. You just know. Everyone knows. It's, you know, and then to be out here, not only hunting, but hunting with you is just unbelievable. So I'm not trying to kiss butt. That's like for real.
Yep.
How I feel.
At one moment, we did stay in a haunted hotel.
Yes.
And so Christine was a little worried about this ghost.
Well,
and she was like, so if the ghost comes, can I jump in bed with you? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. You know, so all the barriers are gone.
Wow.
Yeah, we got real tight.
In Glen Rock, the only hotel in Glen Rock.
The
is
only
Higgins Hotel?
Yeah. But
haunted Higgins.
I didn't see any ghosts.
Kidding.
Did you see any ghosts?
Well, we could have, and we just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But ghosts can't hurt you.
We figured that. When we had guns, even though
we had guns, but I don't think that would have worked.
You know, camo, they probably couldn't see you.
However, on the hotel, this is going to be my low point of the trip.
Yeah.
So Brenda and Sereena kind of stayed back, and then Riza and Taren were like, hey, let's just like go hang out for a little while. And they were like, oh, we're going to check out because we're tired. And I was like, okay, cool. I want to get to know them anyway. So we like hung out for a little while, and then it was probably like 12:30 in the morning or something. We got back, and I was like, the doors had like literal like old-fashioned keys. Like there was nobody manning the front desk of this hotel, maybe except for ghosts. But you can't ask them questions.
You can't ask
anyway,
them for keys.
No, you can't ask for keys. Yeah. So I had my key. I had put on my other big truck key, but I had two truck keys in my purse for some reason, and I grabbed the wrong one. And then when it came back, it was like 12:30, and I was like, oh wait, this isn't the right key. Oh crap. and then I couldn't get in.
She had to wake the boss up.
We were sharing a suite. We were sharing a suite. So the only way I could get into my room.
Oh, I didn't know this.
I even contemplated sleeping in my truck because I can't wake Brenda up.
Nope.
Like, this is terrible.
She was so worried. I thought she was gonna like pass out. I was like, it's not a big deal.
I
She's
was trying to make a good first impression, like on a hunt.
Fail.
She took me on total fail.
That is so great.
Total fail. Anyway, so I called her like 4 times in a row. I'm like, oh my god, she's not gonna answer. I am gonna have to sleep in my truck. But anyway, she called me back and she was just like, what? She was like, I think you got locked out. It's okay. I'm like, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay. Just let me get dressed. Or like, I have to let you in.
That's awesome.
Well, I didn't want to like answer the knock if I didn't know it was the ghost or not. And I'm like, is it Christine?
Well, I was like, everything good I had done up to that point, I was like, well, that's all.
There it all goes.
Oh,
Very
man.
good.
Oh, that's funny.
That was my
So
low
your low.
moment.
What's the high?
So many, just so many. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 5, but I kind of have to. I'm gonna tell a story that I think is one of my highs. When we got back, we all went to this bistro here in Sheridan, and we were being waited on by this waitress, and she was, you know, kind of over us initially. I think like not wanting to serve us, and the things we were talking about, I think we were kind of bugging her. And Brenda goes, this is another Brenda story.
I'm like, I don't even know what I did.
I don't either.
The waitress comes up and Brenda, like mid-sentence, I don't know what she had began with, but the waitress comes up and Brenda goes, well, we just couldn't stop killing stuff.
Didn't know I even did that.
No reference to animals or anything, and the waitress is like, okay, bye.
Just got awkward a little bit.
Super awkward. It was the best. That was probably one of my highs, even though that had nothing to do.
I remember that.
That is now Brenda's low.
Yeah, that's my low.
But I mean, that was like a funny moment.
That's
but
awesome.
honestly, I just enjoyed being on a women's antelope hunt and getting to hunt with the girls, and like all of them said, and everybody knew their stuff. Everybody just like, they just got in it, you know. Nobody was a burden or like competitive, or it was just, we were doing our thing, and it was crazy cool to be part of that.
Really fun. Thank you for giving us a great story there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Antelope Shooter 4.
Shooter 4.
Yes.
Which brings us now
to May 5.
Shooter 5.
Riza
Shooter
Lesser,
5, yeah.
Antelope
The one
Shooter
and
5.
only.
Yeah.
Riza Lesser.
And at this point in the day, we've been cleaning, dragging Antelope out, doing group photos, coming back, and then I know the whole group's like, we'd really like to go eat.
Well, yeah, we kind of left food. We left food.
Yeah, we packed
else.
food and then successfully left it in a vehicle we did not bring with us.
And then we kept killing
perfect.
stuff.
Yeah.
We just couldn't stop killing stuff.
Couldn't stop.
So we couldn't eat because we kept
Between
killing
the
stuff.
amount of group photos and animals going in the back of the truck, we just didn't have time to eat.
And it was nice and cool, so we could totally keep, you know, there's no even worry about
So time check for Shooter 4. What time? What time did you?
Gosh.
One.
Yeah.
No lunch at this point.
No, we had not ate at
And
all.
then
we were starving.
Casey is like, we should probably head back around 2 so we can start skinning and get this done. And if we need to get it processed, have time to go do that. He's like, gotta leave by 2. But now we're going to drive around and look for Antelope 5. So let's see if we can start doing that. And then everybody's like, that one, do that right there. And I was like, I really want a weird one. And Brenda's like, Riza's looking for a weirdo. And I'm like,
a freak. And I'm like, no
a
rush.
freak. Yeah, no rush.
We have
but
lots
please
of
find one. And so I was like, okay, yeah, we'll go. And then we drive. And then we're like, oh, look, Aldo's. Oh, that one's small. Okay, so we keep looking and then finally find one. And then I think Jess got a photo of him. And they're like, hey, look at this one. I was like, totally typical. I'm in. Let's do this. And we're like, this will be great because he's up on a hill with some does distracted. We'll just drive a truck. And now there's 2 cars together. And I'm like, I'll walk around with Taylor, who's going to check the wind for me. And like, we'll walk in a line so they're not distracted. And we do all of this. And the doe's pinning us down and making sounds. And there's a mule deer doe in there. We're like, oh, okay, a lot of eyeballs here. And the buck's not in there. So now Casey's like, I don't know where he went. And he walks further down a hill, and we're kind of cutting across the hill. And then the next thing we know, all the bucks are mixed in with cattle. I'm like, oh, okay. And of course
That
they're
probably
like,
made
well,
Casey a
that's
little
not
nervous.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
Casey's like, shoot, those are worth a lot more. So
Yeah, they don't like.
they're like, oh, okay, we're dodging cactus, walking around the cliff again and trying to cut them off, figure out where they're going. And they're all mingling. So we've got cattle, mule deer, antelope all together. And then they're like, Riza, they're going to pop out. And then you got to find it. He's like, fifth one back. Not fourth, not sixth, fifth. I'm like, great. No.
Shooter
Can
number
you,
five.
can you count to five?
Shooter 5. I was like, shooter 5. It is buck number 5. I'm like, okay, great. I'm not nervous at all now. There's all these does and everything moving around. And then I keep readjusting. Casey's trying to get out of my way. And I totally take a shot and totally miss. Clean miss. And I'm like, now I'm mad at myself. And I'm like all up panting because I'm like flailing around trying to get this done. Take a second shot and I get them. But they're freaking tough. So then I'm trying to do a follow-up shot, and this thing's still moving, kind of like what Taren had. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, this is my worst nightmare. Oh, no. I have done everything up to this point. I've got my gun. I've got a 308. I've got my dial. I even had a dial because, of course, mine's like nothing that I do is ever easy. Or like, oh, it was so great. I just popped over, made the
Like
shot.
mine.
Oh, no, I'm like moving sticks. I'm dialing. He's moving, and then he turns, and there's a doe in front. They're like, you got to wait. I'm like, well, obviously. And so I was like trying to get a follow-up shot, and then he crosses the road, and now I'm like, can the truck see all of this go down? Now this is even worse. Right now I've got like a whole audience.
Right.
And I was like,
Which, for the record, no.
yeah. So I'm like, this is not okay. And I'm like, so upset. Get it done. And he's finally down. And I just look at them. I'm like, okay, I'm so glad this is over. You know, I'm like, all right. And then the girls show up. They're all excited. I'm like, I'm not excited. This should have gone way faster than this. Like, oh, and I just remember having this wave of emotion over me. And they're all like, good job. We're so happy for you, and hugging me. And I just remember being the high, like, how cool is it that, you know, things don't always go perfect and you have to own that. And scenarios happen and environment things happen. And you're like, oh, I want it to be 100%. And when it's not, just having a group of people who are also have experienced in their own lives, be supportive and kind and like have been there themselves. And we've shared stories of that happening to all of us. And you're just like, you just own it. And it's so cool to see people that, you know, I didn't know very well just be there for me. That was awesome. But yeah, so I was 5 for the day, and we did make it go back and finally got
Did you
snacks.
make it back by 2?
No, I think it was like 3 or 4.
But we were
You're
done.
done.
It's like
Yeah, but either way, like
cool.
now there's 5.
I mean,
There's
it was
5
there were
down.
Yeah.
5 antelope in less than 24 hours. So that's pretty efficient.
What time did y'all start? Like, it's typically antelope's not like first light type
Oh,
situation.
No.
I think we met at Casey's at 7:30.
7, yeah.
Yeah,
7 or
so
something.
maybe out at 8 or something like that.
That's you guys just couldn't stop killing stuff.
No.
We just couldn't stop killing stuff. Yeah, no.
It was about
No.
an antelope every hour and a half to 2 hours, and it was just like,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
But we're like, it was, man, we had a lot of clothes on. It was freezing. So,
It was.
yeah,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh,
you had your neck gaiters on, you'd put rain gear on, you'd take them off, you'd crawl out the window to try and glass to see through the fog, like hanging out the trucks. I think there's pictures of us doing that. And yeah, it was
And now it's beautiful weather.
yeah, I don't understand what's going on here in Wyoming, but now it's like 70 degrees and sunny, but this
Welcome
is
to
not what we
Wyoming.
It's
had.
weird. Last year, I think it was the last day of September, we got a pretty healthy snow in Sheridan.
and we did this year too.
And then this year it was October 1st,
Yep.
which was the day that you guys were all out hunting. So
Yeah.
Yep.
it's something about. Like
We
those
were going to
couple
be
days.
camping until the snow was going to hit. We're like, you know, being out in it and then also sleeping out in it may not
Yeah.
be as
So
lovely.
haunted hotels.
Haunted hotel sounds a
That's
lot better.
than
Yeah.
camping. So.
Yeah.
hot showers, hot coffee.
I'll deal with ghosts, not cold ones.
I think we had a French press. Like, we're
Yeah.
prepared.
What else do you need? Yeah.
Except for putting snacks in the car we were in.
That
Yeah.
would have
Yeah,
been a
we
little
did
better.
not do that.
No,
Ever.
lesson learned.
We even talked about it several times, and it never happened.
It's like we were more worried about getting guns and ammo and gear in the cars.
Priorities.
So, yeah.
Priorities.
So highs and lows, Riza.
Oh my goodness. I think the highs for me was just the positivity of the group. I mean, you put us in any scenario, any weather, different personality types. We constantly were laughing and having a really good time. That was awesome. So that twofold with, I also
great.
have family in Glen Rock. My husband's family's down there. And I got to go meet
I didn't know
strangers
that.
I'd never met before, knock on the door and be like, hi, we're related. I'm supposed to stop by and say hi. It's a
kidding.
small town. Otherwise, I'll be, you know, can't be
like,
on the
"Sure,
naughty
come on
list.
in."
Yeah, they're like, come on in.
Yeah, they knew
Yeah.
you were there.
Yeah, cousins that do the taxidermy there, so it was fun to drop stuff off and
that's
say
really
hi,
cool.
and yeah, so yeah. And let me think. I don't know if there was a really low beyond what I've already explained, because it turned into be a high in the end anyways.
Right.
I think it was just the fact that we were like, I don't know, ending this trip. Because then we're always like, Brenda, what are we going to do next? Like, what's our next adventure? What does that look like? So, yeah. But then we got to continue hunting.
We did. So.
And then
Then it got, and then the highlight.
So good, bad, or otherwise. But Brenda, we.
No. I'm not. No, I.
We somehow did not put in for the same unit down there at the right time.
Like, Wyoming tags are really confusing, or maybe it's just for me. But like, usually you just get everything over the counter. So I'm like, I'm a resident. This is awesome. So,
but not for antelope.
So I will never make that mistake again. But actually, I think that was really cool because we had, 5 antelope at Casey's, private land, so many to choose from. And then I basically, a couple days after realizing that I didn't put in for the right tag, I went online and I found the only unit left that had a tag. I'm like, oh gosh, this must really be a sucky unit, right? I mean, none are left.
Nobody wants this unit.
This is go anywhere except like this.
It's not a good unit because it has poor land access.
Yeah, so that's the unit we got. So as we were leaving Casey's, I'm like, oh, actually, the last night I remember praying before dinner, and I was like, thank you, Lord, for, this successful harvest. And I'm like, and please give me good luck tomorrow. Because I knew it was kind of like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to harvest.
You were not psyched about it.
Well,
so,
we were pretty pumped to still have a tag.
I have a tag in the same unit, and I went out opening morning, the first, on a walk-in area, and there were people everywhere. There's a pumpkin patch of orange hats just walking around. I mean, it was
pumpkin patch. It's a clump of hats.
There was a clump of hats, and what wasn't there was any billy clumps.
Zero billies.
This is why I was worried.
Yes.
I'm like, oh gosh, what a finale.
So I drove around. I was with my son, and we drove around looking for in the same unit for some other walk-in access, and it was the same everywhere. And so when you guys got done so fast and Brenda calls and it's like, what can we do? I'm like, I am not sure, but I have an idea. And it involves a boat.
This is epic.
Yes, boat.
And we were like, yes. And yes.
So
who needs walk-in when you can boat in?
Kyle, our national sales manager, has a little duck hunting John boat, and we needed to cross the lake in 3 trips to get everybody across. Yeah. So
3 ferries.
3 cold trips.
3
very
cold snow trips. Anyway, but
snowy.
Before we get into that, I told Brenda, I was like, if you guys are into this, I think it's our best chance because it's hard to get to, and it's literally landlocked except for this really small landing strip on the beach. And run it by the ladies and see what you think.
Yeah, I said, how about a boat? They're all like, woohoo, boat trip.
Yep.
So
again, positivity.
Yep. So we got down there and
it's snowing now,
it
by
was
the way.
snowing sideways. Actually, I got to the Armada, and the girls were in there, and I said, if you guys don't want to come, I totally get it. Like,
oh, you did that?
I did. I was like, if you're cold or like, you don't have to.
She didn't say it to you, but she said it to us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I was like,
you were going.
You were going.
Take the 10-minute boat ride across with all this wind and rain, and they're like, what are you talking about? Of course we're coming. I'm like, all right, just making sure. We might not see anything over there, right? And actually, when we got over there, I was like, whoa. After being at Casey's, like, wow, there's a lot of land, and there's not a lot of.
And there's no roads.
You were like, it was under 500 acres, and she's like, it's basically a square. We're gonna go walk.
We're just gonna walk. That was the game plan. Mm-hmm. So
walk a square.
Split into 2 groups, and
we wanted to be efficient.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So you had a tag, I had a tag.
Yeah,
so
we split.
We'll
Team leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't more than 10 minutes, and Sereena, Eagle Eyes over there, she spotted 3 antelope. We couldn't tell if they were bucks or does or anything, but we got out the little spotter.
I decided at the last minute, I'm like, I'm going to take the giant spotter in the tripod and put him in pack just in case.
Did you get the spotter? Because we actually really, really need it now.
Yeah, we broke it out for like 30 seconds, confirmed, packed it back up. But that's exactly what we needed it for.
So on our group, we're still hiking up the first ridge, and we just get a text like, "Hey, we got 3 in the spotter. We're going to go after him." Like, we just left the beach. How is this possible?
Efficiency.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
So
you're with us. It happens.
Yep.
There's something to it, apparently.
Yep, it was great. So
And meanwhile, I'm short and trying to keep up with Brenda's long legs.
yeah,
I know.
Serena and
And
I
I'm
were
like,
beeline.
she's like, hey, are we good? I'm like, I'm good. I'm just not that fast.
Reese's just running and out of breath. Like, oh God.
I was like, I knew we didn't have much of a
6
like,
jackets on.
Yeah. So we get up to the base of the hill, and then we kind of realize, crap, we're right on the line of public.
We're
and
getting
private.
close.
We're getting really close. So we knew if we peeked over the hill, it was not going to be legal. So we backed up. Riza and Kyle kind of took a loop around the hill to see if they could, persuade them to walk in a different direction.
I voluntold him he was coming with me.
Yeah.
Very good.
So Sereena, she is, so experienced on where to go, what to do, where to set up and all that. So I just kind of followed like, okay, yeah, let's do that. Sure, that sounds good. So we got up to kind of a little bluff, and Jessica's taking pictures. We wait. We see the doe pop over. We're like, no way, this is actually going to work. I was beyond excited. I'm like, this never works this way. I always do it the hard way. My first year of hunting was really like easy. Like everything worked out perfect. And I think God did that so that I would get hooked on hunting. Because if I would have had my second or third year, I probably would have quit. So I'm not used to like it going well or going perfect. But sat up, had my Spartan bipod. So I was totally firm rest. Doe popped over, buck followed. They came down. I had my dial at 200. And I was like 175, 150, 125, 100.
That's good.
And literally,
You're like,
that's the good direction.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is
That is the
awesome.
good direction.
This is awesome. Yeah, he stopped right at 100 yards, and I shot him right behind the shoulder. He ran a little bit, didn't know, hoping he didn't run off, but he probably ran like 50 yards and then kind of fell over, did a little wiggle, that kind of thing. I shot him one more time just to make sure that he wasn't suffering. And it was supposed to go through the neck, and it went right on the skull. So I kind of
In his ear hole. It was like superior marksmanship, by the way.
Except I wasn't going.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to say that because I was like, that is amazing.
No.
You're like, I meant to do that.
Yeah, his horns were definitely wiggly, if you know what I'm saying.
It might not be a very good
The Euro's ruined.
It's fine. But I was just super stoked, to get one on public land, to finish out the hunt, for all of us to tag out. And then to see, it took us a little longer to all meet back up because we were,
We were just
split
we had
opposite
to
sides.
walk. Yeah, we were complete opposite sides. And
Yeah.
once you guys texted that you had some in the spotting scope, we just got to the highest point that we could in the whole
And tried to
property,
watch.
and we just were trying to watch. And
Oh,
so
cool.
we see your orange hats walking through the
Yes.
draw.
Well, at one point we decided to move closer, and we heard the shot, and we were like, "Wait, she shot?"
Yeah.
Like it was amazing. And then like we heard like a second, and we were like, "Okay, must be down."
Yeah.
And then you just keep waiting for the text that it's down, and then
Yeah.
everybody.
And then Kyle's like, well, aren't we going to gut him? I'm like, no, we have to get pictures first. Like, this is, like, we have
Yeah.
this.
Can't ruin it on an Antelope 6.
No, can't ruin on Antelope 6. So
Yeah,
it was
so-
super fun.
And
So
your
we had
wife was
to-
with us, too.
yeah, yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Carrie. Yeah, she was with
Carrie.
us. So, and my group was Taren and Christine, and so we were just watching and glassing, and it was really fun. And on our walk to you guys, it was maybe 1,000 yards or something. This doe, and I have a doe tag in this unit. She just like kamikaze runs across this basin, and she just stays at 300 and stays, and she just never stopped running. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
Almost had
Almost.
a shooter 7.
almost had a bonus.
There's
shooter
like
7, but
5
no.
antelope in this unit, and we found them.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it worked.
It worked. It was great. It was just felt like really great
And then it
ending to a beautiful
Stopped
trip.
raining. The pictures.
Yeah, the sun
happened.
opened up.
Yeah.
When we were done, the rain stopped, and the sun came out.
Yeah.
The tags
and-
were filled.
Tags were filled. Yep. It was great. And then we butchered all our own meat. So we wanted to do it all ourselves and taking those back on the plane.
That was
and-
also very efficient. Everyone just
Yeah.
kind of cut up their own stuff, and good to go.
Yep.
So Brenda, high and low.
Oh, high and low. I think my high was the dinner at Hotel Higgins after, Tuesday when we had all, you guys had all tagged out and just relaxing and sharing the night together and just being together. I think that was my high. Everyone was so content and just excited to be together and just not be on, like we weren't on camera. We were just being ourselves. We were just.
I don't think there's a better version of us that makes camera, just for the record. Like, I think we're pretty much the same all the time. We try though.
Yeah. So it was just cool. That was my high. My low. Maybe not eating Tuesday lunch was probably the only low.
Waiting for Riza to tag out so we could get snacks.
Was just not eating that day.
I don't know what took her so long.
But actually made the
You're
dinner
not yourself
better.
when you're hungry.
No, hangry.
Yeah, it made the dinner better because I was really satisfied afterwards. So, and that creme brulee was really a high at that. That was really, really good.
Nice.
What she really wants to say is me knocking on the door at 1 a.m. was her low
That was
point,
not
but
my
she's
low.
not going to throw me into the bus.
It wasn't my low. Yeah.
I
Then
thought-
tagging was obviously a high.
I thought she was going to say the low was like pulling up to the boat ramp with this little John boat.
No, that was a
And-
high.
And the water, there's like steam fog rising
Oh,
up.
I thought that was
crazy.
Snowing
amazing.
sideways, and
thought it
it's
was
like it's not
amazing.
quite white caps on the water,
I thought
but almost.
like we had landed in Kodiak, as we kept saying, like, where are we?
Well,
Are we
the
on
girls
an island?
expected this little lake, and I knew what DeSmit looked like, so I was like, okay. But they pulled up, and they were like, this is the lake we're
Can't
crossing?
see the other side.
But did you guys feel like after we got to the other side and we started hiking, I was like, oh, like this is like I felt like in my element even more than truck hunting. Just sorry, Casey, but like
Sorry,
to
Casey.
You
just,
don't think
like,
the Armada's rugged?
Yeah, like to see the look of the landscape and you're like, all right, where are they? Let's go.
Yeah.
It was just cool.
Yeah.
Fun time.
It was a really fun experience to be with you guys on that last portion.
Yeah. Thanks for
your
guiding
hunt,
us
and
because I was like,
really fun.
kind of need some help here.
Yeah. Thanks for pulling together that boat.
Yeah.
I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. We could have pulled up and there'd been other boats at that little landing area, and I would have been really defeated had that happened. But it worked out.
Nobody
it worked out
was
great.
doing that. No.
It worked out great. So we were the only ones dumb enough to cross the lake in that weather.
I need your high and your low.
Yes.
Oh, I
Don't think you're getting out of this.
for the week or for
No, for hanging out with
from
us.
hanging out with you guys. I think really the low was pulling up, and I had never even put eyes on Kyle's boat before. So I didn't
Shout out,
know.
Kyle.
I knew that he had.
Shout out.
I knew that he had a boat, and
little
that's all.
boat.
And it was a little smaller than I expected. So I'm
Little
thinking
dinghy.
this is gonna take a lot of trips back and forth across this lake.
So we realized he took 12 trips because we had 3.
He did. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, 6 trips.
Segments. 6.
Yeah, but
12.
it was like 10
Back and
minutes.
forth, and then
Like the 2 I took were long enough. He did that 12 times.
Yeah, he
so
did it a bunch
he
of
was
times.
awesome.
So that was kind of my low, is thinking, oh man,
shoot.
this could be terrible.
What if we get stuck in the middle with one paddle and no motor
We
and a
almost did.
strong wind?
Yeah. So, Kyle, not a knock on your boat, buddy, but I was a little nervous at first. So
He
but
kept telling us that it had been stored in his garage, and he
No,
hadn't
it
gotten
worked-
it
it worked
out,
great. It
and
was
all this
perfect.
stuff, and we're like, oh, cool.
Please don't tell us this.
goes well.
yeah, and then I think the high was then when I got the text that you guys had Antelope in the spotter, like super fast. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is perfect. And then
great.
we hear shots.
Yeah, because
maybe
we kept
20
spotting
minutes after.
rocks. that looked
There
like
was a
antelope.
handful of white and orange rocks.
And he kept looking at the same rock like, it has to be an antelope. I'm like, no, it's
He's
not.
willing it to be an antelope.
It's just not.
But so we did end up seeing some antelope after,
Yeah, we
after
did.
a while.
We did, for sure. After the rocks, yeah.
So anyway, great
Yep.
trip, great week. The
Awesome
women's
time.
antelope hunt of
Complete success.
2019,
Yes.
a complete success. So, Riza, thanks to Leupold for throwing all the optics on.
Oh, that was my pleasure, for sure. Oh,
Really
yeah.
fun
Shout out to
trip.
Custom Shop Team for cutting us out. So we ended up not needing anyways. But thanks for turning those around for
But
me.
you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just knowing that you have it in case
True.
you're like, shoot, I have to shoot this at
If
300
you-
and
if
I
you-
don't
Yeah.
want to guesstimate. Like, I love my dial. I use it.
Yeah. Had you not had them,
We would have for sure
every
needed
shot would have
them.
been
And I'd have been like,
300.
way to go, Riza. Way to not bring them.
And then you would have stressed your brain out, you know.
Yeah. No,
So,
that was good.
is that 2 inches or 3 inches high? I don't know. I just use my dial. That's what I do.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah. Well, thank you.
thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Weatherby, on our mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
Yep. Shooter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Signing out.
Signing out.
Signing out.